My school is next to a cemetery. I always hated walking to school in the early morning and then having to come back in the darkness of evening when classes ended. It was even worse when it was winter, when the dark would settle about 4 p.m. Apart from trying to make it to class while avoiding the school bully, there's this huge cemetery I have to walk past. We were told that the cemetery was some ancient old resting ground built for the soldiers that had fallen on the land. Kids from my school would speculate just to scare the others, especially freshmen at the cemetery. Most often the stories would be, if you go there at midnight, you can see ghosts, or if you go into the bathroom after midnight, you'll see the little kids that died there, or even the kids around will be taken by the ghosts, and many others. Sometimes the popular students would prank the lonely students in other grades that just wanted friends. It was the main reason they'd agree so easily. They'd be told to come to the cemetery to meet with the seniors and hang out, when in reality the seniors would just dress up in ridiculous costumes just to scare them to death. Currently, I'm a junior at my school. My friend circle is small. There's Donna and Kyle. We're all smart kids who won't let themselves get fooled by some bored jocks who are just looking to make fun of someone. Never believed in any of those stories, until now. One day I was walking with my best friend Kyle. We were walking through the school's halls just talking about the usual school stuff like classes we disliked, the teachers we hated, the fights in the cafeteria. And as we were walking, I looked at my friend talking and not where I was going, which resulted in me tripping on someone's foot and falling face flat on the floor tiles. My friend halted his steps and looked at me with confusion. "Are you okay?" he said, lending me a hand. "What did you trip on? Floor tiles?" I glanced around the hall. It was indeed empty. There was no one around us for at least 10 feet. I could have sworn it felt like I tripped on someone's foot. I shook my head and gulped, motioning to my friend just to carry on. I forgot about the incident for the rest of the day. My last period was from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m, but I had to stay overtime for my book club. I was the president and I obviously couldn't get out. Being winter, at 4 p.m. when I left the school, it was already pretty dark. I breathed out a sigh of relief, zipping up my jacket further and hugging it around me. It was so cold. The breath I let out formed a small cloud, and I watched it disappear into the air. My head turned to the side, and I looked towards the cemetery. For some reason my eyes were completely fixated on it. I could see the tombstones, some old flowers and trees, and what looked like a dark figure, something like a shadow. My eyes squinted so I could see better. It looked like a person, tall, with a long trench coat on, hands in their pockets. I moved towards the graveyard's entrance. My feet just wouldn't stop. I don't know what went through my head at that point. It felt like I was in a trance. Boots crunching grass and leaves underneath them. I entered the graveyard. It had such an eerie feeling to it. I still couldn't stop. It felt like the closer I got to the figure, the further away it got from me. Like the path to it was endless. The dark figure turned around. It was standing in front of one of the graves, looming over it. It must have been around 7 or 8 feet tall. I looked up at it, but I couldn't see his face. It had none. His hat was covering his entire face, except for his eyes. It was so red, shining through the darkness of the night. My eyes widened and my breath stopped short in my chest. I literally felt my heart stop beating. I was completely frozen with my mouth slightly open. A sharp gasp left my lungs as its non-existent lips spread into a wide smile. God, that thing had teeth. 3 different rows of sharp animal-like canines. I kept walking towards it. And then my feet halted. I stopped moving. I shook my head and put a hand over it. My head was hurting horribly. I whimpered in pain, closed my eyes tightly, trying to get rid of the feeling. I fell to my knees and supported myself against the stone. There was this ringing inside of my head, like some bells being rapidly shaken again and again. And then it stopped. What the hell was that? After that day, really strange things started happening in my town.